So coming up on the next edition of Road to Glory, I am here at the Top Dog Boxing Gym in New Malden in Surrey, and I'm here to talk to title contender Neve Morris, who competes on the November 26th show, challenging for the vacant Novice Light Welterweight title up against Dionne Parker. And Neve, great to see you. Last time out we saw you in the competition. It feels like an absolute age ago, but you boxed Lily Finch on your obviously your Quest debut. An amazing fight to watch from ringside. But next up, obviously, it's an incredibly big fight for yourself on the season finale, boxing Dionne Parker. So before we get into that, before we talk about how your preparations are going and how you've been ahead of fight, how have you been since the last fight that we saw you in the league?
Yeah, I've been good. I've had one more fight, obviously won that. And to be honest, I've just been training a lot, just getting down here, learning new things, and just focusing on the next fight.
I've had a couple of chats with you. Obviously, your coach Mark. I know that obviously you do a lot of work with former Queensbury champion Joey Knight, but all of them say, as a complimentary term, they say she's just a gym rat. She's in the gym, she's training, she gets in there, she mixes it with the other boys because there isn't that much sort of female sparring here for us, and she'll mix it with any of them. So is that kind of a fair reflection of what happens when you step through the doors here?
Yeah, 100%. I'm down here pretty much 6 days a week. Love coming down here. I spar with all the boys, train with all of them. The thing is as well, you're learning so much off of them as well, so it's just a good mix.
I know we were chatting off camera. Women's boxing, I mean, a massive transformation in the sport for women over the last probably sort of 4 or 5 years, and you've where once it was just the odd female fight, and boxers from the UK would have to travel abroad to get those big fights. Now the UK with the likes of Katie Taylor, Savannah Marshall, Ellie Scottney. There's so many big female names in the UK now, sort of that are inspiring a new generation of fighters. So, for you as a female fighter, does it make it feel like you're not alone? That there's definitely places and people to look up to now?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's come up a long way. Like the other week, we saw a full female card. That's rare to see as it is. And they were all good fights. There was not one fight which you felt disappointed from. And it's good to know that people are actually interested in it now, and it's coming up, and hopefully a lot more females will get involved in the sport.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's sort of like I say, it has transformed in boxing the sort of the interest in female boxing over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So it's good to see, and it's good to have competitors like yourself competing in Quest. So probably let's have a look back. 'Cause I wanted to sort of to get your views, because we've not spoken on camera before, but cast your mind back to September of last year, 2021, when you fought Lily Finch in your first ever competitive fight, and I've got to say, a pretty daunting prospect. I mean, I sit there ringside and watch the shows, and I think the feelings to walk out in front of the TV cameras, in front of the bright lights, in front of a huge crowd, that in itself is hard enough. But what are your memories of that fight?
To be fair, there's not a lot of memory there. When you step out into the stage, you kind of forget about everything. You're there to put in the work that you've been taught at the gym and just go for it. And sometimes it doesn't always end up the way you want it to, but at the end of the day, you're still learning from that experience. And from that experience, you get better, and the next opportunity comes. So it was a great fight. Of course, congrats to Lily Finch. She's doing amazing things now, but I'm happy to get back in there, show what I can do.
And I know that obviously you were back in the gym after that fight, and you were sort of, like you say, you're constantly learning. I know that outside of the competition, you boxed and had a great result. I watched that fight back. Your coach sent me that footage, so a great sort of great way to bounce back from that sort of that loss to Finch. But coming up next, I mean, this is a great fight. I mean, for the sort of the league's fans who potentially haven't seen yourself and they won't have seen Dionne Parker in the competition before. This is such a good fight in prospect, because watching your style, watching the improvements that you've made, and also watching Dionne Parker in action, this is potentially not just one of the best female fights that we've had, but this could be one of the fights of the night on the 26th of November, just because both of you are so evenly matched. So talk me through a little bit about what you know of Parker, and also, you know, what you've seen of her.
I think she's quite a tall fighter. She likes to use a lot of footwork. She's very good with her feet. She's got a lot of straight punches, which is nice. And to be fair, I think I've just got to do what I've been told to do, not without putting anything away. I've just got to stick to my game plan, come away, just do that, show up on the night.
Do you get? I know a lot of the fighters. You know, there's so many different layers to boxing. I mean, obviously it's the nerves of getting in there and sparring. It's the training. It's stepping through those doors. It's thinking about building up to fight night. It's thinking about, you know, what it's going to be like. But, you know, for yourself, do you get nervous?
I think I get more nervous on the lead up to the fight, but on the day I'm completely calm. It doesn't really hit me until I'm in the ring, and then I'm a bit like, okay, I need to settle down, stay calm. But other than that, it's just kind of the lead up. I'm just trying to focus in and get as much work done as I possibly can, and just leave everything in the gym, come back and just put in the work.
And how's fight camp gone so far?
Yeah, it's probably one of the best fight camps I've had. I'm already on weight, been training every single day. It's the best fight camp I can ask for.
Fantastic. I mean, I suppose, you know, like, you ask any fighter, and, you know, unfortunately with boxing, there's always periods and sort of times in a camp where, you know, it gets tough, or it's not quite going right, but, you know, maybe the sparring isn't sort of going to plan, or, you know, maybe it's just, you know, you have those off weeks. But, you know, for you, what's the motivation? You know, obviously you stepped through the doors here, never having boxed before, and now you find yourself being sort of thrust into the limelight again in a huge title fight.
Yeah.
But, you know, what motivates you to do it?
I think I just enjoy it. It's literally just become part of a routine, and I love coming here every single night. I help coaching sometimes with the kids, and it makes me happy coming here every day, training, seeing everyone else, having some sparring with them, learning off other people. It's just a good environment to be in.
And what's the toughest part, do you think?
Just leaving here after putting all your all in, and then thinking, oh, could I have done more? Could I have done, like, it's hard to kind of figure out what that training session needs to be planned around, what you need to focus on. And sometimes you do think, oh, I should have focused on this a bit more, I should have focused on that a bit more. But at the end of the day, you're putting in the work, you're getting the most done. You can always do that the next day and then come back to the other thing, so it's good.
And I'm sure you thought about the fight, obviously, since it's been announced, and you've seen the footage. But, you know, in your mind, you know, how do you visualize this fight going? I mean, what do you think the outcome's going to be?
I think it's going to be a good fight. I think we're both going to put in a good amount of effort. Everyone's going to love watching it. But at the end of the day, it's what happens on the night, who turns up the most, and see what we can get done. But I think I got the win. So.
No, well, like I say, I mean, I've had the privilege to sort of see you box in the competition on the very first Quest event. I've seen your progress, and I know obviously Parker is coming into this fight, you know, hungry and confident to make a big impact and a statement on her debut. So it's got all the ingredients to be a fantastic fight. So hopefully that sets it up. I mean, we're all excited and looking forward to watching this fight, and like, obviously wish you luck. So. Any final words as we wrap it up?
Everyone keep watching.
Yeah? No, well, like I say, it's going to be a fantastic fight. And this takes place on Saturday, November the 26th, the famous Epsom Downs racecourse in Surrey. And Neve Morris will be facing Dionne Parker for her chance to claim the vacant light welterweight title.